and he files a false DMCA claim. Now, here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, because this is real interesting. I noticed that there seems to be a pattern that when I post a particular video about a pastor, for the past couple of weeks, I noticed that me and another YouTuber named Neo, I believe it's 196 or something like that. Neo, I believe it's 196 or something like that. Neo, I believe it's 196 or something like that. Neo, I believe it's 196 or something like that. I believe I'm seeing that me and this particular YouTuber, when we post videos about similar preachers, right? And I've noticed that when I get flagged, Neo get flagged at the same exact time, right? Just the other day, Dr. Leroy Thompson, that so-called money cometh pimp, well, he filed, actually his son was the one who filed the claim. His son filed the claim. They filed 2 DMCAs against me, and they also filed a DMCA claim against Neo. All of this happened at the same time, right? Now, just the other day ago, just a couple of days ago, Neo was flagged again for the R.A. Vernon video that he posts, which is the same exact video that I post, but I add my spin to it based on what I'm seeing with my own Ringo TV flavor, right? Now, I noticed that we got flagged at the same exact time again, which brings me to the conclusion that there is a particular person on YouTube who is plotting and planning and scheming behind the scenes in the darkness, where this particular person is going behind our backs and they're contacting preachers in secret to warn and tell them that so-and-so is making videos about you. You need to do something about it. This particular type of practice is to get these particular ministers to file DMCA claims in hopes that these claims and these particular copyright infringement claims would get me and Neo shut down.
Well, I guess it doesn't take a wild imagination to figure out who Ringo4Life is talking about. Hi, I'm GMDOCNICE, and this is another one of my open letters to Ringo4Life, part 2, because I have some things to say concerning his accusations against me in his last video. Now, before we go on, I just want to say that I remember back in the day, Mommy used to say that we should never say anything about someone that we can't say to their face. So what I'm about to do is take off my hat, and I'm going to take off my sunglasses, because if Ringo4Life is watching this, I want him to look me directly in my face, because somebody who he says is a troll and a stalker and whatever he calls me, you know, they hide in the darkness. And since I'm not one, I freely and willingly take off mine so I can look directly into your face and you can look directly into mine. Okay? But I want to address a few issues that were brought up in that video. I want to quote exactly what Ringo4Life said to me directly. Okay? And I quote, which bring me to the conclusion. Now, a conclusion is a decision reached after careful thought. Okay, so Ringo didn't come about his decision to make these accusations against me lightly. They were brought about with careful consideration. Okay, going on. Which bring me to the conclusion that there is a particular person on YouTube you meaning me, based on the picture of a man in silhouette, and in which he adds a hat to his head, symbolizing the hat that I wear. Who is doing what? Okay, this is what sums up his accusation towards me. Who is, now here's the accusation, plotting and planning and scheming behind the scene in the darkness. Remember that word darkness. We'll get back to that word later. Where this particular person, meaning me, is going behind our, meaning Ringo and Neo196, backs. Interesting choice of words, by the way, and going behind your back. And they're, meaning me, contacting preachers in secret to warn and tell them that so-and-so, meaning Ringo and Neo196, is making videos about you. And you need to do something about it, close quote. Then you go on to say, sort of as your closing argument, this particular type of practice is to get those particular ministers to file false DCMA claims in hopes that these claims and these particular copyright infringement claims would get me and Neo shut down. Now, that's a pretty bold accusation. Now, according to your First Amendment right, Ringo, you have the right of freedom of speech. You have the right to even say things like this. But what you don't have the right to do is accuse someone falsely. You don't have the right to do that, and that's exactly what you did. And today, I'm going to prove that you accused me falsely. But not only did you accuse me falsely in that, in times past, you've also accused me of having direct involvement in your Ringo4Life channel being shut down in March of 2011. And you also accused me of giving several people on YouTube your home address. Now that one that's a direct violation of every guideline and every rule that YouTube has. Now, you've made these accusations, but unfortunately, you haven't come up with one shred of evidence that proves any of the accusations that you brought against me. But like I said, we're going to prove that everything, I'm going to prove to you, everyone, including you today, that every accusation, that these 3 accusations that you made against me are false. Now, I will agree with you with one thing, and everybody else needs to recognize this. I can't be held accountable for what other men do. I can't be held accountable if somebody wants to file a false DCMA claim against you. I cannot be held responsible for that. If they do something like that, you're gonna have to go to them and fight your cause with them. But for you to blame me for going to them so they can do an unrighteous act like that, that's wrong. Okay? So, like I said, you bring all these slanderous accusations against me, but you don't offer any concrete, substantial proof to your claims. All you do is give suspicions and assumptions and speculations, and like somebody's plotting and planning against you, and you got these conspiracy theories and some grand plot to come against you and Neo's YouTube channel. Now, that may be the case with other people, but that has nothing to do with me. Okay? I'm not doing anything like that. You know, I'm presenting to the people of YouTube who I believe you really are, and I'm going to let the facts stand. I don't have to go behind your back, or, as a matter of fact, like I said, that's an interesting choice of words that you would put it that way, that you would categorize someone doing something like this as going behind your back. That sounds more like, well, something else. I'm not even going to go into that, but if people think of the words, hey, you went behind my back, they're thinking something else, which I don't want to get into. So, but what you did, Ringo, was falsely accuse me. You falsely accused me of several things, and you won't admit what you've done. But I'm going to force you into the light, man. I'm going to force you to come into the sunlight. Now, how am I going to do this? Well, I'm not going to debate scripture with you. That would be pointless, because if everyone knows about the religion that you represent and that you stand for, everyone knows that you guys pick and choose what you want to believe in the scriptures. You know, you don't believe the whole counsel of God. You believe some parts of the Bible are true, and you believe that others aren't. So I'm not gonna sit here and try to debate with you about scripture, okay? But what I will do is, I know even though you don't accept the Bible fully, what I do know that you accept is the law and the words of the Messiah. At least those two you say you adhere to. Now, here's how I'm going to prove that you said something, you bared false accusations against me. Let us turn to Exodus chapter 20, verse 16. Let's turn to Exodus chapter 20, verse 16. What does it say there? It says, "Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor." Yet, Ringo, you bared false witness against me. Now, let us go to the words of who you adhere to, the Messiah. And the Messiah said, if we can turn to John chapter 3, verse 19 through 21. And it reads, "And this is the condemnation, that light is come into the world, and men love darkness rather than light, because their deeds were evil. For everyone that doeth evil hateth the light, neither cometh to the light, lest his deeds be reproved. But he that doeth truth cometh to the light, that his deeds may be made manifest, that they are wrought in God." Ringo for life, it's time to come to the light, brother. It's time to come to the light, my friend. Now, you've called me a troll, a snake, a stalker, and various other names. Now, a troll, a snake, and a stalker are people who notoriously live in the darkness. They want to stay in the dark. They want to stay hidden. They want to do things that are under the cover. They don't want to come to the light. But brother, I want to come to the light. I want to come to the light. Bring me to the light. Because whoever doesn't come to the light knows that their deeds are evil. That's why they don't want to come. Everyone that doeth evil resisteth the light. They won't come to the light. But I want to come to the light. I want to come to the light. So, now since I want to come to the light, I want to face my accuser. I want to face the one who has made all these accusations against me. I want to face that person. Not only do I want to face that person, I want to face that person in a public open forum. I want to face that person in a live public forum. I don't want to do a video and then you do a video, then I do a video. No, nothing like that. No. I want us, you see, thank God for modern technology, right? Because we don't have to do the YouTube game. You and I can talk face to face, even though you live in another state and I live in another state. When it comes to modern technology, that doesn't matter anymore. We can meet each other live. We can look at each other's faces live. We can talk to each other live. How can we do that? Stick cam. I'm just kidding. But I am serious about stick cam, but I'll get to that later. But I want to face my accuser. I want to step into the light. I've been accused of being a stalker, a troll, and a snake. Those things hide in the darkness. You see, I don't want to hide in the darkness. I don't want to hide in the shadows. I want to come to the light. Bring me to the light, Ringo. Bring me to the light. What I want to do is meet you in a live public setting, in front of a live audience. You and me, you bringing the evidence that proves what you have accused me of is true. Now, I know that the only way you can prove with evidence against me is to lie. And you don't want to bring any lies, Ringo. You want to bring the truth, right? You want to come to the light, step into the light, right? So don't come with lies. Don't come with hearsay and innuendo and, hey, my cousin Joe told me that he heard GMDOCNICE did this and so and went behind his back like some, I ain't gonna go there, but went behind your back and Neo's back and contacted these ministries and, hey, he gave out his home address. Ooh, oh yeah, he was directly responsible for shutting down your channel in March of 2011. It was GMDOCNICE. Yeah, if you get any of that, you and I know it's a lie. Step into the light. Ringo, step into the light. I'm willing to step into the light. Are you willing to step into the light? Are you? All these charges that you've brought against me, I want to give you the opportunity to present your evidence against me in public. Why won't you do that? I want you to do that. So see, trolls and stalkers don't do that. They're scared of that. They hide from that. Why am I challenging you to do what a stalker and a troll and somebody like that doesn't want done? Why would I do that if I am a stalker? You know why? Because I'm not one. That's why. Because you know I ain't no stalker. Because you know I'm not a troll. Because stalkers and trolls don't do this. You understand? So bring me into the light. Let's step in the light together. I'm ready. But you ain't gonna do that, are you, Ringo? Audience, Ringo's not gonna do that. He's not gonna bring me into the light. I'll be surprised if you do. And like I said, if you do, Ringo, you know any evidence you present against me will be a lie. You know it will be. But even if you do present a lie, I'm willing to take that chance. I'm willing to take the chance of you even presenting lies about me. Now, why would a stalker and a troll do that? So, unless I'm a worker of evil, unless I'm doing evil, I don't want my deeds exposed. I don't want my deeds to be reproved. So I'm going to stay in the darkness. Anybody, according to scriptures, according to the Messiah, For everyone that doeth evil, right, hateth the light. Everyone. He didn't say someone, maybe two-thirds. Two-thirds. Yeah, that sounds familiar. Two-thirds. Yeah. No, maybe half, maybe a quarter. No, he said the Messiah that you say you follow says that everyone who doeth evil hates the light. Now, if that's correct, I don't want to come to the light, but I do. I do want to come to the light. I want you to come to the light with me. But I seriously doubt that you will, Ringo. Let me tell y'all a little bit about Ringo. Ringo, you are big on making exposed videos and exposing people and letting people know about the dangers of the prosperity gospel. But you have a particular affinity to Christianity. Now, I know you've been done wrong by Christians. And as a matter of fact, I'm sorry that happened to you. I really am. It's inexcusable what's happening in some parts of Christianity. I'm completely against the prosperity gospel myself. And I have loved ones today who are wrapped up in the prosperity gospel. But that doesn't give me the license to broad brush everyone in Christianity as being false and the same and all deceptive. You shouldn't do that. And the only reason why you're doing that is because you've been hurt. You were deceived by Creflo Dollar, and now you want to take revenge on what he did to you, and you want to attack everyone in Christianity. You are free to make your opinions about Christianity, just like I'm free to make my opinions about Black Hebrew Israelites. But the thing that gets me, Ringo, is that your problem with Christianity is a subtext to introducing people into a religion that cannot save, that it has a false God, and adheres to a false Christ. It just does. A Christ that cannot save anyone. You guys are steeped in legalism. You guys are steeped in keeping the law. But what you fail to realize is that the law is a teacher. And the only one who fulfilled the law perfectly was Christ. And for you to say that Christians reject the commandments is ludicrous. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. So let me set it straight for Christianity, that we adhere to the 10 commandments and the laws of God. What we don't do is put our faith and trust in it for salvation. Obeying the 10 commandments is not going to save me. It's not going to save me of my sins in following the 10 commandments. What saves us is grace through faith in Christ. That's what saves us. Okay? That's the great divide between Black Hebrew Israelites and Christians. You guys put all your faith and trust in obeying the commandments, and we do not. Although we obey them, but not to the degree where you obey them because it's a means of salvation. We obey them because Christ commands us to. But in order for us to get to heaven, we put our faith in Christ alone. Not in our works, not in us keeping the laws and the statutes. We put first and foremost our faith in Jesus Christ. Okay? You understand? Now, let me tell you another thing about the Black Hebrew Israelites. Not only do they have a God that cannot save you, But the Black Hebrew Israelite movement is one of the racist movements I ever heard of in my life. Now, what Ringo is failing to tell you, those who are curious about the Black Hebrew Israelite movement, is that if you're white, if you're Asian, if you're East African, if you're Arab, there is no salvation for you. If you're white, if you're Asian, if you're East African, if you're what is considered to be Jewish today, if you are Arab, is there salvation for me? The answer is no. You are an Edomite. Especially you white people. You are Edomites to the Black Hebrew Israelite movement. There's no salvation for you. Now they go into different degrees and there are some differences. But across the board, if you white, you ain't right. If you white, you ain't right because you an Edomite. Now, in Christianity, it doesn't matter if you're Greek, Jew, Gentile, it doesn't matter. Bond free, it doesn't matter. Once you've come to Christ, we are all one in Him. Doesn't matter if you're black, white, Asian, from Africa, East Africa, South Africa. It doesn't matter where you are or where you exist on this planet or what color your skin color happens to be. Once you belong to Christ, you are saved. You understand? That separates Christianity from the Black Hebrew Israelite movement. A movement that cannot save you. A movement with a Christ that is false. That's Black Hebrew Israelism. And that's what I'm against. And that's what I fight. And that's the truth I present to the table in various forms, as you've seen in my videos. I don't just present, hey, I heard that GMDOCNICE had my channel shut down, or he's giving out my address, or he's going behind my back. Oh man, I can't get over that statement. He's going behind my back, to other ministers that me and Neo are making videos of, and letting them know that we're doing it behind my back. Now, when I present evidence against the Black Hebrew Israelite movement, especially against Ringo, my evidence is true. It's not hearsay. I back up what I'm saying. Now here's what I presented about Ringo4Life, as you may or may not know. Let's go down the line as to what I have presented about Ringo4Life. See, I want to step into the light. I'm not a troll. I'm not some snake hiding in the shadows. See, if Ringo would have came to me after part 1 of Ringo4Life Hypocrisy Exposed and said, hey man, I want to meet you in front of the public about the video you made about me, I would have been like, sure, okay, let me gather my evidence and let me prove my point. Now let's go down the list of the videos of the evidence that I have proven against Ringo4Life. Video number 1, part 1, Ringo4Life Hypocrisy Exposed. Now, in that one, I presented evidence of him with his voice, him talking directly. It wasn't me just telling people, hey, this is what Ringo said, y'all, so I want you to believe it with dark, mysterious music behind me. No, I presented the evidence in his own voice. Because first he says, a false teacher uses cliches like God told me, or other words like that. In other words, a false teacher uses cliches that God told me something. Like these preachers say, You know, I'm deep and I'm spiritual because God told me so and so and this and that. And then in another video, he's going on and on about Mike Gilbert, D2174, Blase Skippy, he did this and he did that, and my channel shutting down, Blase blah. And then he says, but the Most High told me. And he goes on and tells people what the Most High told him. Now, didn't you say that false teachers do that? Now he tried to explain it in this video series that he made against me. But you know what? That may be true. What you said may be true. Yes, this is from me, the Apostle Paul. This is from the Lord. Yes, he did say that. But that's not what you said. You said that a false teacher does this. You said. I know what Paul does, but that's not what you said. You said a false teacher does this. And you did exactly that. So if there's any condemnation, it's by your own mouth. It's by your own tongue, Ringo. Part 2. Parts 2 through 4, Ringo for Life, Hypocrisy Exposed. The evidence that I presented. Now he goes on in parts 2 through 4, and I present his own videos as he's discussing, they shut down my channel, blah. Look at the hypocrisy of YouTube. YouTube is corrupt. It's ran by bad people. It's run by homosexuals. YouTube is run by homosexuals. Yet, Ringo uses YouTube faithfully every day. You don't do that. You don't sit there and say, well, YouTube is corrupt and it's terrible and it's awful. Yet I'm gonna make as many channels on it as I can. That's hypocrisy. That's doing against what you say should be done. You're going against what you believe is wrong. You're doing everything against what you believe is wrong. That's hypocrisy. You say YouTube is wrong, but you use it. That's hypocrisy. That's the evidence I present. Woo, it's getting hot. Now, for future reference, I had to discontinue parts 2 and 3 because I had it up for a while, but there's so many sexual images and things I'm not even gonna mention here that is going on in those 2 videos that, you know, I had to take mine down. I couldn't have it up anymore. It's too trashy. He uses direct examples of what he's talking about the filth that's on YouTube. He used real examples of what's going on to show to his people. I did have it up to present it as evidence, but you know what? I can't have it on my channel anymore. I can't have that garbage on my channel. If you want to go to his channel, you know, it's under his Gilbert series if you want to see it. But I don't recommend it because it has some very graphic, strong sexual images on it. And so I warn against you guys watching it. I really do. I had to take it off my channel, like I said. Now, parts 5 of the Ringo for Life Exposed, Hypocrisy Exposed, where I present evidence. I'm still telling you guys about when I present evidence against Ringo, there are some verifiable facts behind what I'm saying. Verifiable fact number 5, which, by the way, I think was the most despicable of all the Ringo for Life Exposed series. What happens is, as he was doing parts 2 and 3, the parts that I had to shut down off my channel because they had strong sexual images in it, you know, he did this in the presence of his child, and anybody who listens to that can hear his child's voice. You know, they could hear the child making noises every so often while he's displaying some of the most sick, graphic, sexual images there is. And this is another one I had to take off my channel. I couldn't have it on my channel, you know, because, you know, I want to adhere to YouTube's community guidelines too, you know, and they're very strong about, you know, when it comes to children and you know, videos you make of children. You have to be very careful when you make videos on YouTube with children that concern children or have children in them. You have to be very careful. So I made the decision to take that garbage off my YouTube channel. You know, it was up before. I can't have it on my channel. I just can't. Ringo4LIFE Hypocrisy Exposed series that I presented with evidence is part 6, where he says he never uses a cuss word, but he does. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say the cuss word. The cuss word is right there on your screen right now. And you know what? Not only is it a cuss word, but many dictionaries also prove that it's a cuss word. And he tried to prove that it wasn't. But my argument is it, you know, most people wouldn't use a word like that in polite company. You have your friends over and for dinner, and you know, would you use that word? You know, you have to run a check over your mouth. You have to run a watch over your mouth sometimes to make sure that the conversations you're having are pure and wholesome. You don't want anything flying out of your mouth. You know, anything that comes in your head, you don't want it just flying out of your mouth. You want to be careful about what you say in front of people. See, unlearned people and people who live in the jungle, they act like that. But civilized people and people who got manners don't use words like this. Another reason why this word is a cuss word is because if you were sitting down interviewing the president, he had his Secret Service guys around him, would you say that to the president? Because if you do, what do you think would happen to you if you said that to him? What do you think his Secret Service would do to you? That's not a good word. It just isn't a good word. You know? And like I said, many dictionaries say that it is a cuss word. It is a word that is vulgar. You know, vulgar words are cuss words. You know, so I presented that evidence. In part 7, the first part 7 that I presented against Ringo was this horror video that Ringo made. I just wanted people to see that, and it was so terrible and bloody and horrible that I was surprised that I found it on his channel amongst his so-called ministry videos. You have, I know he did it, he said he did it back in 1999, but it's a video that involves the killing of teenage boys and women, and it was proudly displayed among his other ministry videos, so-called, and that was before he got suspended. So I put it up on my YouTube channel. But when he came off suspension, I looked through his videos and it was strangely gone. When I looked for that video again, it strangely disappeared. I wonder why. Why would you delete a video that there's no problem with it? There's nothing wrong with it. Put it back. Put it back up. It was before. That's how I got it. How did I get it if it wasn't there? Nobody else gave it to me. It was there. So why did it go from it was there before he was suspended? He was suspended, came off suspension, now it's gone. Why? Why, Ringo? Why? Next, number 7. Ringo4LIFE Hypocrisy Exposed, number 7, part 2, is about Ringo explaining exactly what a stalker and troll is with his own voice, with his own words, but then I show various videos, several videos that he made that proves his own point about what a stalker and a troll is. So you see, when I present evidence against Ringo for Life, they're true. They're facts. It's not just, hey, well, I heard somebody told me that you gave out my address, and somebody told me that you're going behind my back, and you contracting these ministries and telling them that me and Neo making videos about them, and you had direct involvement in getting my website shut down. Yeah, that's what I heard. Well, okay, present the evidence. Like I did. I presented evidence. Don't talk. No more talking. We've heard what you had to say. No, you're going to come to the light, Ringo. Step into the light. The light awaits you. Because for everyone that doeth evil hateth the light. Step into the light, Ringo. They neither come to the light, lest their deeds be reproved or exposed. So present your evidence, come into the light like I did, like I'm willing to. I'm willing to come to the light. I want you to come to the light too. Prove that you are a man of Yah. Prove that you are a true disciple of the Messiah, as you proudly display on your channel page. Prove that you are. Obey the words of your Messiah and step into the light. Prove that I did what you are accusing me of, because if you don't, you bear false witness against me. You broke a commandment. So you will happily prove all your claims against me. It's easy. It's a done deal. It should be a done deal. It should be that shouldn't even require a second thought. You should be like, oh yeah, sure. Oh, that's done. I'm there. I'll let you know. I'll give you more details in a little bit about where we can meet together, and you can present your evidence about what you've accused me of in the presence of witnesses. I'll get to you on that a little later. But let me go on about the various names you've called me. Now, you've called me mentally sick, of course, a troll, a snake, a stalker, wicked, a racist. Now, that's the one that gets me. He calls me a racist, where he belongs to a religion that is only for blacks and Hispanics. But I'm a racist. Okay. Somebody give me the losing horn from The Price is Right, because me a racist. But you belong to a system that only has eternal salvation for those who are black and Hispanic. That's the only ones who are getting eternal salvation. It ain't about coming to Christ. It's about, if you black, if you Hispanic, you're saved. If you white, if you're Asian, if you're East African, if you're European, if you got white skin, you can't come in. You ain't gonna get saved. You an Edomite. There's no hope for you. None. With the black Hebrew Israelites, there's no hope for you if you're white. None. They'll get along with you. They'll be cool with you. But in the end, after you die, you're going to face judgment and destruction. That's what black Hebrew Israelism is. And like I said, they have a God that cannot save you. And they have a Christ who can't redeem you. You understand? Now, I digress. Now, going back to the names Ringo for Life called me. A racist, an evil, black-hearted man, and a fool. An evil, black-hearted man. Okay, evil. For everyone that doeth evil hateth the light, neither cometh to the light, lest his deeds be reproved. But he that doeth truth cometh to the light, that his deeds may be made manifest, clearly seen, that they are wrought or carried out in God. Step into the light if I'm evil. Now, you've called me a evil, black-hearted man. If I'm evil, I'm hiding in the shadows. I'm not going to meet nobody nowhere because I want to hide in the shadows. But I want to come to the light. I want to step into the light. Bring me to the light, Ringo. Let's go in the light together. I'm willing to. Why aren't you? Let's step into the light. Now, you've called me a fool. Now, you know what? I'm not going to argue with you on that one. Because I might not be a fool. I don't know. You know, I'm not perfect. I'm not going to sit here like some arrogant jerk, you know, who makes videos about, expose videos about people, you know, and act like I'm holier than thou and mightier than thou and I can't do no wrong and I can't be corrected. No. No, that's not me most of the time, maybe sometime, but not all the time. So that's fine. If you want to call me a fool, that's fine. But what are you? You call me all these names, but what are you? What are you? What would you freely admit that you are? You see, I want you guys to take a look at this picture again. Yeah, it's her again. Yeah, I'm putting her on screen again. I sure am, so be quiet. But yeah, I'm putting this picture on the screen again because, you know, you need to look at this. Look at this. Who does this? Who does stuff like this? I mean, I understand you having a debate against somebody and not agreeing with somebody's methods and tactics. But why would you put a skull mask on someone who is someone's wife, who is someone's mother, who is someone's child? And going back to the point of being a racist, what is the race of the woman that you put a skull mask on? What's her race? You understand? What's the difference between you doing this and some white racist from the South doing it? What's the difference? How is there a difference between you doing it and some white racist doing it? There is none. But yet you did it. Yet you did that. Why would you do this? I mean, you call me an evil black-hearted man. What kind of man would make this kind of picture? Would put a skull mask on someone's mother? Yet you did that. Why would you do this? I mean, you call me an evil black-hearted man. What kind of man would make this kind of picture? Would put a skull mask on someone's mother? You understand? It is by the grace of God and by the grace of God alone that when this woman's husband saw this, that he didn't take matters into his own hands. You understand? It's by the grace of God that you didn't do this mess to a woman whose husband or child would have saw this picture and would take matters into their own hands. You understand what I'm saying? But you call me evil and black-hearted. So a person who's not evil and black-hearted makes pictures like this? I mean, you got to be pretty low, down, dirty, corrupt, and out of your mind to make a picture like this about somebody's wife and mother and child. and especially a black woman that you claim to be so hot on, black women and black people, but you do this kind of mess? Nothing but evidence, people. Nothing but evidence. I'm not just talking. Evidence. Now let me clear up a few points. I've gone on a long time. But you know what? I didn't want to make this video with just my voice. I wanted people to see my face. See that I have stepped into the light. I'm not hiding in the shadows. You don't see my picture with hat and sunglasses on this one. Normally I will. Excuse me. In the future, you may see plenty of videos with me with the sunglasses and the hat on. But not this one. Not this one. This one, taking the hat off, taking the sunglasses off, because I need to show you I'm not a stalker, I'm not a troll, I'm not one who hides in the darkness. You're not hearing a voice. You're not reading an email. You're not looking at a text. You're looking at me. I'm talking to you in a somewhat live, personal manner. It's not live, but we'll get there in a minute. We'll talk about live things in a minute. Let me finish up with this, with my points. Ringo, you've also said that the majority of your haters are Christians. That may or may not be true, but you gotta know, everybody who says that they're a Christian isn't necessarily one. And I'm sorry and I'm sad to hear that you believe that everybody who tells you that they're a Christian is one. But I guess that's your burden to bear. But I'm here to tell everybody else, just because a person says that there's a Christian doesn't mean they are one. Okay? Anybody can say they're anything. Doesn't mean they are that. You understand? Number 2, you said, in our hearts, we secretly want to see you dead. Now that might be true with some people. It's not with me. I don't want to see you dead. I want you to come to Christ. I don't want you dead. I'm your wake-up call, man. Because you're attacking Christians unfairly. You're broad brushing us. So, and you've been doing that for a long time, unchallenged, I guess. I don't know. You know, there's been some challengers to you, yes. But it seems, and you know this, it almost seems like I'm unrelenting with you. Why is that? You know, maybe it could be I'm your last chance. I'm the last chance for your eyes to be open until perhaps you face judgment. I hope that doesn't happen. I for one hope that doesn't happen. But you need to wake up, brother. You need to wake up, man. And GMDOCNICE might be your last chance to wake up. But don't worry, I'm here for you, brother. That's why I'm here. I'm here for you, brother. Yeah. But going back to number 2, I don't in my heart want to see you dead. You know, believe that or not, that's up to you. I'm telling you, you know, I'm not, this isn't a voice, this isn't an email, this is me telling you, I don't want to see you dead. You know, but you are a threat to Christians. You are a threat to Christianity. What you do on YouTube is to present the flaws of Christianity and use that as a pretext to get people to adhere to a religion that cannot save you. A hopeless, racist religion. The black Hebrew Israelites. That's your ultimate game. And I can't allow you to do that. I can't. Well, for as long as God allows me to, I'm not going to let you do it. I'm going to be here for you, brother. You should be happy. Number 3, we're all hypocrites. Yes, there are some hypocrites. Yes. By God's grace, we are saved, but we aren't perfect. So sometimes, just like you, Ringo, are going to do things that you wish you wouldn't have done. You're going to say things that you wish you wouldn't have said. You know, it's not a life of perfection. It's a life wanting to be like their master Christ. Okay, we want to be like Christ, but we aren't Christ. Now, he was perfect. But we aren't him. So those who are true Christians, we're going to make mistakes. We're going to be viewed as hypocrites sometimes. But that's okay. You know, because in our hearts, that's not our deepest desire. Our deepest desire is to be like Christ. And we're going to make mistakes along the way. So, if you want to see us as a hypocrite, so be it. You don't see love, only hatred by Christians, because we don't forgive or love you. You don't see love. You only see hatred by Christians, because we don't forgive or love you. Okay. Now, like I said before, everybody who says they're a Christian isn't one. So it's unfortunate that you believe that everybody, hey, I'm a Christian, I hate you. You know, I'm sorry you believe that everybody who's a Christian is one. Now, let me tell you a little bit about love, Ringo. Now, there are various forms of love. You understand? Case in point, let me tell you about Judge Mathis. Do you know who Judge Mathis is? Now, he was brought up under what is called tough love. Now, what he says tough love is that he used to always get in trouble as a child, as a teenager. So what his mother would do was always call the cops on him. But in her doing that, she would show him that, hey, I love you. I love you so much that I'm not just going to let you run amok and do what you want to do and just twiddle my thumbs and just say that I love you. No, I'm going to show you I love you by calling the police on you every time that you do something. Every time that you steal, every time that you sell drugs, every time that you get in trouble with the law, I'm going to call the police on you. And I'm doing that to show that I love you. That's what he described as tough love. Judge Mathis even went as far as to say that his mama would call the police on him even when something happened in the neighborhood that he had nothing to do with. But if his mama heard that a crime went down in the neighborhood, she called the police on her son and said, hey, y'all might want to check him out, you know, just in case. You know, and Judge Mathis attributes that to tough love. And look what happened as a result. He went from being locked up to a judge now. He went to law school and became a lawyer and one of Michigan's youngest judges. Why? Because his mom loved him so much that she just wouldn't let him run amok and do whatever he wanted to do. And sad to say, some parents today just let their children run wild. But then there's other parents who will get out their belt and beat their behind, you know, when they get out of line. There's still parents today that do that. Back in the day, if you got a whooping, after some parents give you a whooping, they said, you know what, this hurts me as much as it hurts you, but I'm doing it because I love you. What? If you love me, you wouldn't whoop me, you know. Why did they whoop their children? It brought pain. It brought suffering. It didn't feel good. It wasn't all lovey and dovey and syrupy and, hey, I love you, hey, let's have a hug fest. It was hurty, it was whoopy. You know, back in the day when I grew up, you got whippings with extension cords. You understand? You got naked whoopings with extension cords. You got what was called a wet whooping, which is you took a bath, you got out of the bathtub, and you got a whooping. Wet. You didn't even have an opportunity to dry off. You know, I don't agree with wet whoopings and whooping kids with extension cords, but that's what went on back in the day, and switches and all that. I don't agree with that. You know, but, you know, every now and then, a spanking is justified. And spankings hurt. They don't feel comfortable. Why is somebody telling me that they love me, but they're spanking me? Why are they doing that? Because it's another form of love, Ringo. Ringo, love isn't just syrupy and huggy. Sometimes love involves pain and suffering and hurt. You understand? Now, let me mention one of your old friends right now. Neptali 1981. Now, Neptali, when I first came on YouTube, and I tried to warn that brother about you, do you know what he did? He defended you, Ringo. He wasn't against you at first. He defended you. You know, and I tried to make that point on Janice Talks channel, and I made that comment, and I said that if you believe in truth, you'll leave this comment up so people can see it. And next thing I saw, it was erased. Why would you erase that truth? But I digress. Okay, because that question answers itself. So Neptali defended you. He wasn't against you at first. He came to find out who you was after a while, but at first he defended you. Why? The man showed you love. You know he showed you love. Now he showed you that tender, buddy, give me a hug, you my boy. Even to this day, even though Neptali 1981 is 100% against what you believe as true, as it comes to your belief in what it takes to be saved, and your belief in who Jesus Christ is and who the Messiah is, even though he strongly disagrees with you on that, the man still loves you very much. He even came to me and said, do you think you ought to be so harsh with him? Should you be the way you are with him? And I told him, yes, I have to be this way with him, because some people don't receive hugs and love. Some people don't receive kisses and that kind of love. And it is, in my opinion, Ringo, that you're one of those people. You don't receive that kind of love from Christians. You don't receive love like that. You need to be confronted. You're doing wrong. And you need the love of confrontation. And that's why I'm here. That's why I'm in your life. I'm the love of Christ to you in the form of confrontation. I'm putting a mirror in front of you and letting you see exactly what we're seeing, because this is who you are. And I'm not afraid to face you on it. I'm not afraid to present whatever I present. I'll back it up. I'll justify it. You know, I'm not going to run and hide. Like, you accuse me of being a troll and a stalker and this and that. That's fine. But those kind of people hide in the shadows. They don't come out to the light. I want to come into the light. I want to step into the light. And I hope you join me, but I'll give you those details in a minute. Now, like I said, when it comes to love, you've been shown differences. You've been shown the sweet, syrupy kind of love. And you've been shown the kind of love that's in your face and raw. And it's like a whooping. It hurts. It doesn't feel good. But yet it's love. You understand what I'm saying? You've been shown both, and you reject both. So it isn't the Christian's problem that you reject love. It's your problem. You're the reason why you can't accept love. So that's something you're going to have to figure out within yourself, hopefully with prayer and a little bit of more study of facts and truth. Maybe you'll come to discover why it is you can't receive love. You can't receive the syrupy, gooey love that some people want to give you. You know, because you're very arrogant. You're very haughty. You can't be corrected. You hate to be corrected. You know, you have all the facts. You have all the knowledge. You have all the information. Nobody else can counter what you say. You're never wrong. And that's pride. And that's the very thing that got the devil kicked out of heaven. You understand? Enough talk. I'm done talking. I've talked for a long time now. Alright? Now it's time for action. Now it's time for both of us to step into the light, Ringo. Are you willing to step into the light with me? Are you willing to bring your evidence of the charges that you have brought against me in a public open forum? Are you willing to do that? Charge number 1. I contacted ministers and ministries to inform them of videos that you and Neo196 have posted against them, and that I expect them, these ministries, to do something about it in order that both your channels get shut down. Prove it. Bring evidence. Bring one of these ministries, bring them with you, and have them say, hey, yeah, I got this from GMDOCNICE. Y'all sure did. I got a call, I got a text, I got an email, I got something that proves that GMDOCNICE did. He did everything that I'm accusing him of. Bring the evidence. Can you do that? Step into the light. Step into the light, Ringo. I will. Will you? Number 2, I gave several people your home address. Now, and number 3, that I had direct involvement with your Ringo4Life channel being shut down in March of 2011. Now, you can get any knucklehead to come along and say, hey, he gave me heat address, yeah. That would be easy to prove if you get somebody to lie, because it's the only way. Because I did not give anyone your address, and I did not have any direct involvement in your channel getting shut down. However it got shut down, that's how I got shut down. Take it with whoever shut your channel down. You understand? Now, I know it's easy for you to blame people for your ills and the tragedies and the misfortunes that happen in your life. But if you're going to accuse me, you're going to have to present some evidence now. Otherwise, you have bared false witness against me. Publicly, you did that. You've broken a commandment. You did. Yes, you did. And like I said, I'm going to prove it. Because the only way to prove it is to bring us to the light. Let's come into the light together. I'm willing to come to the light. Are you willing to come to the light? I hope so. Because if you don't, it only proves that you're a liar. It only proves that you hide in the shadows. It only proves that when the heat gets turned on, you do nothing but say what you got to say and then go back into the shadows. No, not this time. You're going to come into the light and you're going to prove these things that you said against me. You understand? Now, so I want you to meet me again on StickCam. On stickcam.com/GMDOCNICE. That's stickcam.com/GMDOCNICE on Sunday, May 1st, 2011. The time should be right there on the screen for you. I'm taking a day off from, where us bacon eaters go, on Sunday. And I'm going to take the time off and meet with you so you can present your evidence to the public. I want you to present what you said about me. I want you to present your evidence to them in a public forum. Come to the light. Come to the light, Ringo. Okay? I'm coming to the light. And I expect you to do the same. Now, I ask people who are watching this video to also join in and come and witness this public forum. This is not an event. This is a public forum where someone has accused me of something. Like court. You understand? We're going to court. You brought charges against me. Don't hide back into the dark. No, you brought charges against me. Come into the light. Bring your charges against me to the light. You understand? Bring them to the light. In front of witnesses. In front of the public. And I invite everyone to come to stickcam.com/GMDOCNICE on Sunday, May 1st, 2011. I would do it this Sunday, but as you know, that this Sunday is the Super Bowl of church services. You understand what I'm saying? So I gotta go. It's the Super Bowl of church services for all us bacon eaters. You understand? All us Sunday morning bacon eating, bacon sandwich eating folks. See, that's our Super Bowl. You understand? Now I have to reference something because we've done this before. You know, I have in the past invited you, Ringo, to meet me in a public forum, and when you didn't do that, I called you a coward and all kinds of names. Okay, and I regret doing that. I regret calling you a coward and all that kind of stuff because, you know, calling you names like that only makes people like you hide more into the shadows. So I'm not gonna call you a coward and all that kind of stuff, because I want you to come into the light. I want you to come into the light. So I am respectfully requesting that you come into the light with me and present your evidence of the accusations you brought against me in a public forum for the world to see. Now, on your video, GMDoc exposed he supports ACAT 04-2001 and her racist views against black women. And I quote, "As most of you know, I've been ignoring this troll," referring to me, "for a long time because I'm a grown man and I have no time for his foolishness. On his channel, he considered me to be a coward and various other names as a way to appear brave online. Only cowards do these things. Real men who have personal issues with another man would go see them face to face and handle their business." Okay, there's no mystery what he means by that. Okay, if someone has a personal issue with another man, you go to them face to face and you handle your business. Everybody understands what I mean. Virtually, he's saying that you go to somebody and you confront them in order to have a physical confrontation with someone, you know, or confronting someone, which more than likely will lead up to a physical confrontation. Okay. It is very easy to make videos calling people a coward, but I would love for that Christian to appear at my door with that foolishness. Now, Ringo, I would love to take the opportunity to appear at your door, and I know you want me to. But what about meeting in a public forum in the presence of witnesses? That's done every day. Now, what you suggest doing here by meeting you at your door and knocking on your door, "Is Ringo here? Well, he said this and this and this about me. What's up?" You know, that may lead to an argument. People may come by and don't know what's going on. They just see two guys shouting at each other, and which may lead to a physical confrontation. That may be unfortunate for one of us, namely you. But I'm just kidding. You know, but you know, that stuff is the law of the jungle. That's how uncivilized people act. That's how people, well, you did me wrong, so I'm gonna bring my gun, or I'm gonna bring my knife, or I'm gonna get in your face and do stuff. That's how the law of the jungle. That's how anarchists operate. That's how people who don't subscribe to the law operate. They just, he said something about me, so I'm gonna get him. No, that's not how civilized people act. Civilized people, if you have a disagreement with someone, sometimes they take them to court. Sometimes they have hearings. Sometimes they have public meetings. They don't just confront everybody who does them wrong. If that was the case, we wouldn't have the need for law enforcement, judges, courts, we wouldn't have the need for any of that. It would be every man do whatever seems right in his own eyes. And that's not what we want to do here. We want to do things decent and in order. Okay, this ain't 1812 where, you know, I arrive at you. This is the old West where I arrive at your house with a gun on my belt and, hey, I heard you done my sister wrong. Meet me at high noon at so-and-so. No, that's not how civilized people operate. Civilized people, when they want to address their grievances, do it in a public forum. You understand? And that's what I want to do. I want us to come together in a public forum and address our grievances. You understand? Now, you've accused me of several things, and I want to face my accuser. I'm asking my accuser, who has accused me of several things, to face me with the evidence of what it is that he accused me of. Concrete evidence that I did everything that they accused me of. Not only just both of us, but in a public setting. Both of us, just you and me, in a public setting where anybody can come and watch and witness. You present your evidence of these 3 charges against me. Are you willing to step into the light? We don't operate under the law of the jungle, Ringo. What you suggest is how people should conduct themselves. And I don't want to conduct myself like that, and I know you don't, because we're both civilized people. And you have accused me of several things. And I want you to bring those, bring proof of evidence of those accusations that you brought against me. Bring them and present them to me in a public setting. Can you do that? Can you step into the light, Ringo? So, I invite everyone to come out May 1st, 2011, Sunday, at the times indicated on the screen. You know, in case you don't have a webcam, I'm giving you a week to get yourself a webcam so you can present your evidence. Ringo, we're going to step into the light. You've accused me of several things. So now I want to face my accuser. You've accused me of being a stalker, a troll, and a snake. And those 3 things operate in the dark. You should accuse me of stuff, and after you've accused me, I should recess into the dark. That's not what I'm doing. I want to come into the light. I'm willing to step into the light. I'm willing to, even in the face of you even presenting lies. And that's what you'll have to do in order to prove that you're right. Because I did none of these. I did not contact any ministers to inform them of the videos that you guys made. You or Neo. I did not give several people your address on YouTube. And I had no direct involvement in the closing of your Ringo4Life channel for the 3rd time in March of 2011. I did not do that. But you said that I did. And I want to face my accuser in a live public setting. So bring your evidence May 1st, 2011 on the times indicated on the screen. I'm telling you, Ringo, if you don't show up, man, that will only prove what has been said about you. You know, you hide in the dark, and then when you find out something about something, you come up just a little bit about what you are going to expose people about, and then after you expose them, you go back into the dark. You go back into the darkness. You don't want to do that this time. You want to come to the light. Like I said, I can't be accountable for men who use the DCMA system and use it falsely. I can't be accountable for their actions. But you are holding me accountable for that. And because of that, I want you to answer these charges you've made against me in the public forum. Your Messiah says, For everyone that doeth evil hateth the light, neither cometh to the light, lest his deeds be reproved or exposed. But he that doeth the truth cometh to the light. He that doeth the truth cometh to the light, that his deeds may be manifest, clearly seen, that his deeds may be made manifest and clearly seen, that they are wrought and carry out in God. Come to the light. Join me in the light, Ringo. I'll see you on May 1st, 2011. God bless.